Welcome to the CADWOLF tutorial on teams and licenses. Now, teams at CADWOLF are used for two reasons. The first is to purchase a license for a group of users at a business, and the second is to give permissions to a group of users as opposed to a single user. Before we get in depth on teams though, let's go back and look at the two sides of CADWOLF. Now, the first that you see on the lower right there is the main app. That's where you edit and create documents, where you work in your workspaces, do your part trees, and pretty much everything to do with documents in CADWOLF. What you see in the upper left, you get a glimpse of when you log in, but these are the settings pages. You can have some team functionality there. You can actually create teams, add and remove members there, and we're going to look at that. But the one thing you can do in the settings pages that you can't do in the app is actually purchase a license. And we're going to show you how to do that in just a second. So let's look at our profile view under the app. Remember that the profile view will have a list of teams that you're in. So clicking on that shows that you can have a link to the settings page and to the details page, which is under the team module. We're going to take a look at that in just a second, but let's just go directly to our teams module. And you'll see the default view is again the list of all teams. And this time, remember there's always a user or a team with your username, which is just you. No more members can be added. On this page here is a link to the settings page, the details page, an option to remove yourself from this team, and an option to delete that team if you are the owner. So let's look at the details for the Avengers team. What you're going to see is, along with a list of all the members at the top, is the logo for the team. Since this is the owner, you have the option to change the logo. For each member, there's their name, their logo, their email, their status in the team. There's a link to promote them to owner or demote them, and an option to remove them from the team if you're the owner. At the top, you can invite a new member or rename the team. The way you do this is you click on that link, you get the option to enter the email address. Let's go ahead and invite the Scarlet Witch. Remember that we've already created this user in CADWOLF. Enter the email and hit enter on your keyboard, and our code will go find that user, make sure you're inviting the one you want to invite, and you click the button to invite them. And when you're done, at the bottom, you'll see a list of people who invites are currently out to. So remember, the way teams work is you have to be invited to the team and then accept that invitation. Now, the reason for this is that, of course, teams can be paid for, so we don't want people adding themselves to teams that someone else is paying for their license. So let's walk through how you accept an invitation to a team. Remember, we invited the Scarlet Witch, as you see at the bottom. She's not a member yet, so she doesn't appear in the member list here. So let's log off of this account, and we will log back on as the Scarlet Witch. There we are, we're in her profile page. So this isn't under the Teams module. Remember, this is under the profile page. You see in the list to the left are invitations. That's a list of invitations for teams that you've been invited to, obviously. Click on that, and you'll see an invitation from the Team Avengers. You can accept it or reject it, and clicking accept will immediately add you to the team. See, as right now we don't have any teams in our list, so we go back and we accept the invitation, and you'll see now it's in our list. So we'll go ahead and use this link to go to the detailed team page like we did before, and here's the list of users, and we're now on it. And as you can see, since she is not an owner of the team, there's no option to change the team logo, and there are no more pending invitations. So since she's not an owner, there's not an option to change the team name or invite more members. So we go back to the list of teams for her, and as you can see, it's the Avengers, which she's now on, and herself. There's the same list under your profile here. So let's go ahead and log out, and we will log back on as Iron Man and take a look at the settings pages again. Remember, when you're looking at the settings pages, you have to be securely logged in. So you have to have HTTPS in your URL. And you have 6 options on the left. The second is Teams, which we're looking at now. There's Profile, Subscriptions. We're going to look at those one by one. So in the list of teams for your user here, you have the option to create a new one, or you can look at the details for those teams. So let's go ahead and look at the details again for Avengers. And that's going to take us to our, so now we're under the team settings instead of the user settings. There's the team profile, the membership, you can invite people given a certain role. You can look at the subscription, which is the licensing for this team. So remember, if you purchase a license for a team, you're purchasing a license for everyone on it. You enter a payment method and invoice. The subscription, if you saw, had a list for monthly or yearly billing. And let's go take back a look at all the teams. So we're back under the user settings here. That's important to remember. So if you go down to subscription and you buy a license here, you're buying a license for the user and not for the team. One last thing we want to go over again on the settings pages is there's a link in your menu here in the upper right to email us. Clicking on this will bring up a box which will let you enter text to email us with questions, or if you find something wrong, or if you just have something you want to clarify with us. So that's a very brief overview on teams and licenses. This video is embedded in a document that gives a little more description of the settings pages in the app and gives you a little more step-by-step of how to create a team, invite users, and that sort of thing.